What's going on, guys? This is another episode of the Outdoor Builders, and today I have the pleasure to have a friend of mine here, Diego Lopez. I am Bruno. I'm going to be your host today, but Diego is here to talk to us about what, Diego? Tell me what we're going to be talking about today.
Couple things on the docket today, but I think the biggest one is the intersection for business and personal financial planning, right? And how all these moving pieces come together.
That's right. So Diego is our guy to go to when we talked about business, financial, and planning for the future, not only for the business, also for our personal life as well. So Diego, I really want to go deep with you today, and I really want to, just show how important it is for us to really plan for our future. Sometimes we do have situations where we don't know what to do with our future. We only worry about now, but the future is right here. It's just like a few years away, 10 years away, and we're going to get old at one point. So, Diego.
Yeah.
When I first called you, I asked you, hey, dude, it's just me and another guy doing the jobs. I don't really have a big, long plan. And you came over and you sat down with me and you're like, let's go ahead and set a 5, 10, 15, 20-year plan. I was like, dude, I don't even know if I'm going to live that long. But then you said, you know what, I'm going to really show you how it is important. And then you did. So how important it is for us as a business owner. Today, we have over 60 guys working with us. But how important it is for us as a business owners to know how to plan for our future better.
Yeah, I think the biggest piece in the business owner space that people tend to miss is that they're very good, right? As business owners, we love what we're good at, right? Yeah. So for you can say what it is that is, but you have your passions.
Yeah.
And unexpectedly, as a business owner, we also sign up for the management of the business, the people that we're helping employ and feeding and so forth and so on.
Right.
So you're managing two things at once, right? As a small business owner as well, what we find is that your business balance sheet and your personal balance sheet are really closely aligned.
That's right.
So the area where we come in is to figure out, hey, how can we make sure that we are maximizing the business balance sheet so that it translates to the personal balance sheet as best as possible, and also taking care of all of the people that are on our teams, our employees. These are our people, right?
That's really good. And oftentimes people ask me, hey, dude, do you have life insurance? Do you have this and this? And I'm like, yes, dude, Diego is my guy. He does have everything figured out. So don't tell my wife how much I'm worth it today. But it's like, you don't know what can happen, right? Life happens. And unfortunately, a few weeks ago, we actually unfortunately lost one of our guys, and that's tough. That's really tough for the family and everyone that stays here. So after I talked with you for the first time, you really showed me how important it is for us to really be connected as much as we can in terms of like, hey, what's going on. And you always, the good thing about Diego, guys, is not because he's in front of me. He follow-ups with me all the time. Hey, how's it going? How's everything going? Do you need any help? Are you trying to connect? Do you need to connect with anybody? And he helps me with a lot of people, lawyers and all this stuff. That's like important for him to understand where we're going as a business and where we're going with our financial personal life, right? So Diego, if someone is starting the business today, let's say they're, I want to be in the construction business today, I'm going to start my business, how important it is for them to have this ready once they start the business?
It's always a chicken or the egg question, right? A lot of the times as a business, we're starting and it's like, oh my gosh, there's so many things for me to worry about and get the business up and running. And it's a double-edged sword because on the other hand, you're saying, okay, well, when I get the business up and running to this point, then I'm going to come back and take care of this, this, and that and have the structure. And it's always a dual battle, right? In terms of the number one priority, I would say, is getting financially organized, like we were talking about, right? So that's saying, hey, these are my visions, these are my objectives, and really setting a path. And whether that path is going to be the path you stay on forever is probably not, but just to have a vision to start financial organization, right? And just as a disclaimer, we're not CPAs, so talk to your CPAs. We purely give financial advice and things of that nature. So consult with your financial advisor, consult with your CPA.
All that, like all the steps. Right. So essentially you guys want to sit down and say, what is it that you dream about? Some people say, you know what, I want to work until I'm 50. Okay, then you got to start working on this, this, and that. Like you got to advise them what you do, and then it's up to them to take the decision or not. So today, give me just a rough number, right? I'm not expecting you to know this.
Yeah, sure.
Based on the clientele they have, all the people they have, is today, would you say that majority of the clients you have, are they business owners, or are they just regular people?
Yeah, I would say it's a healthy mix of both. I would say about 35 to 40% of our clients are business owners. And when I
Okay.
say business owners, I'm talking about the small, closely held 1 to 5 partners, right? It's family type businesses, less than 100 to 200 employees, things of that nature.
Right.
We find that that tends to be the most underserved population in the United
Wow,
States.
that's impressive.
And unfortunately, that tends to be a fault of our industries as a whole. Our industry tends to either be positioned to work with big corporations or purely on the personal planning space,
Gotcha.
always revolved around delivery of certain financial products.
Right. So what I hear you saying is that basically people don't go to you because they're not informed by the actual industry of like how important it is for you to actually have a company that can back you up in terms of like, you know what, we can help you plan for your future, not only for your personal life, but also for the business, right?
Yeah, and I think if you look at our interaction, I think first and foremost, we're friends. We're already continuously talking. And so it's important that I and my team continuously understand what's happening in your life and the places you want to get to personally so that we can build everything else around it and just say, hey, if these are the personal objectives we want to get to, here are some different ways, shapes, and forms in which you
Gotcha.
can get there. You pick the road you want to go down
Gotcha.
for what you have the energy for.
Got you. So, in other words, basically, you create 3, 4 scenarios, and they decide which way they want to go. If they really want to, like my case, you know, I'm crazy, and I'm always like, yeah, I want to faster. You know, I want to get it going, and that's good to know that people do have the option to choose which way they want to go. You know,
Absolutely.
It goes with people's personality, right? Some people are like, you know what, I like to take my time to do things.
Yeah.
Some people are like, let's go, which is me.
100%.
And some people are just modern, like, you know what? Yeah, it is good, but it's not the most important thing for me us today, right?
Absolutely.
So the next question I have for you is like, how long? Let's say if someone, I'm not trying to put you on a spot here,
Yeah,
but
not
like,
at all,
let's say if
please.
someone says, you know what, I have money in my 401k, right?
Sure.
And I'm gonna be retiring with that money that's in that. What is it makes you guys different than like having just a regular government retirement plan?
Sure. So I think the main thing happens in the delivery of our process with our planning with our clients versus focusing on the products, right? There's all the different financial tools that we will go into and we help with, but really at the end of the day, what tends to set us aside is a couple things. So one is the financial organization is step number one.
Right.
Number two is then the coordination of advisors. You mentioned this a little bit in the beginning,
Yeah.
but a majority of my job on the back end is to be coordinating with the accountant, with the lawyers, with the insurance brokers, with
Gotcha.
the mortgage people, with the CPAs, and so forth and so on, right? All of these different professionals tend to have different areas of your balance sheet that they're working on. Yet the issue tends to be that none of them are actually talking to one another.
Okay.
And so you as a business owner who's very busy, and I just saw you for the past hour on the phone, probably had 10 different phone calls,
Yes.
don't have time to go
Yeah.
meet with each professional individually. So it is
Exactly.
our job to string all of those people together
right.
so that we are all on the same page, so that by the time we meet with you,
Yeah.
everything is digested and now you just have to make decisions.
Yeah, and what I love about you guys' system is that like I do have like a back office that I get to log in and I see all the upgrades, like what's happening and all the assets
Yeah.
that we have as a business and everything that we have as a not only a business but also as an individual, you know, my
Yes.
family and I. It's like everything is there. So any assets, everything that we have, that's
Yes.
so it's like a back office,
Documents, yeah.
documents, you know, my all the stuff. It's that, which is great. You know, maybe I am in a place where I need to look up some type of doc and it's at the house. You know what? I do have inside the back office. I love that.
Yeah.
Easy, accessible, friendly software that you guys have. The other thing I was going to ask you is this. Now, you know, some people don't even know where to start. They think like, you know what, I'm not making that much money, so I can't really put any money aside. So if someone says to you, you know what, I want to start, you know, planning for my future.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys have a minimal requirement? Like, you know, I need to open up a policy and then what's the, like, roughly, like.
Yeah, how do we get started,
yeah,
right?
how do you get started?
So the biggest thing about how I personally and my team and even our advisors within Westpac tend to build our businesses, just so that you get some context, is that we don't necessarily work for the firm, but we partner up with the firm.
Gotcha.
So all of the clients that I take on and my team takes on, it's our call who we're going to take
Gotcha.
on. So the way that we operate is we are willing to invest the upfront time with people to give them a full recommendation and a full insight into their financial world, to see what it is that they can do and improve upon, and so forth and so on. If they're engaged, if they come to the table and do their part, even if we don't get compensated, that's a risk I'm willing to take, right? The ways in which we get compensated tend to happen in the implementation space on the back end.
Got you.
So things like that, if people buy certain insurances from us, we can get compensated on the back end. My team members can get compensated in the investment space, and so forth and so on. But that is not an expectation of ours to engage together. We will do the upfront work, we'll give all of the recommendations, and if said person wants to go implement with another advisor, they can do so.
Yeah. So, like I said, not because in front of me, but I like how you guys always follow up. Like, you're really always on top of things. And if I ask you for something, you put a meeting together, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And then you help me a lot. Especially now with the economy is not doing so well. It's like you help not only me, but like also the business. Just, you know what, you guys are going through a lot. It's the economy, but let's sit down and see what we can do. And this is very important to me. Like you said, I'm a very busy person. I don't have all the time of the world to be like walking around and, hunting people down, right? Like I hate
babysitting.
Exactly, babysitting grown-ups. That's the worst thing ever, right?
Yeah.
So just to close up, so what is it that like if someone wants to start a policy or someone wants to start some type of insurance with you guys, like what is it that they can do, and what is it that of course I'm gonna have your information available. Like, what is it the first thing that they gotta look for in order for them to start?
So first thing, Bruno, I think is even to stay away from, is it a policy, is it insurance or investments? We know that if we just look at the planning from a big picture perspective, those things will happen naturally, whether it's in a day, a week, a month, a year, a decade, right? So first things first to start is we'll do a complimentary consultation, have a 30-minute meeting, get to know each other, and then from there, if people have a good gut feeling about us, who we are, and how we do our work, we can then schedule subsequent sessions to which we'll then get documents and information to be powerful, understand their objectives, and then we will give out full recommendations on what it is they can do within their own personal world. At that point in time, then they can decide, once they get the recommendations, if they would like to work with us and we work together on implementing the plan, or they take it elsewhere or do nothing with it. We're willing to take that upfront risk. So minimal thing to get started is get in touch with us. We'll get on the calendar, schedule a 30-minute call.
Yeah.
From there, we'll decide whether we'd like to work together or not, if it even makes sense to, and we'll give the full.
And then let's say someone confirms with you, you know what, I really like it. And then each person will be a different type of route that you guys are going to take,
Absolutely.
right? So it's so hard for you to tell. But
exactly.
How quick would it take someone to start with a policy or a retirement account? Like, how quick is that? How's the process?
It's as quick as they can get us information, right? And so if people are on top of it and they give us the information, we need to be powerful, and we can schedule 3-4 meetings subsequently. We'll go through everything step by step, present all of the information in a clear and concise way. And as things make sense for their circumstances, then they'll start getting done.
Great. And then they'll sign, the last policy we did, we signed online, so which was great. I don't have to be with you physically. You called me, you went over everything. Yeah. That was really cool. And then after someone signs it, one thing that I think you probably struggle, not you don't struggle, but the people that's with you will struggle the most is like to keep up with everything, right? If someone tells you, I can pay $100 a month towards a retirement account, whatever, for example, and then that person's like pay for 1-2 months, and then they stop paying. Like, do they lose their policy? What happens?
Yeah, so the good news is that we're rarely to never going to put someone in that situation, right? As we do things, we always make sure that we are making all of our recommendations with as much flexibility as possible.
That's great.
Right? And so we want to make sure that before we start doing things, we have reserves and that everything is flowing in the right process to account for when things go sideways. Too often, our industry runs scenarios on best case scenarios. We run the worst case scenario and make sure that our plans will survive the worst case no matter what.
That's so good, man.
So that on the best day, we know everybody can put their head down on their pillow when things are great. Yeah. We know that our clients can put their heads down on the pillow when things aren't great and still be all right.
That's so good. That takes the pressure out of the client like me. I am one of your clients. Yeah. And that helps me a lot. Is there anything else that you like to add on, anything that you want to say to those that's thinking about it, getting a policy for their business, either through a private retirement, either
Sure.
through life insurance. Like, is there anything that you want to say, like, why is it important for someone to have any of those?
I think just getting started, so often with the society that we live in, it's easy to get caught up on all of the things and be busy.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of the times we'll see, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow turns to next week,
Yes.
next month, next year, next decade.
Right.
And then especially for our business owners, right, we focus on continuity and exit planning.
Yeah.
They spend their entire time chasing and working in the business, and now it's time to sell or
Yeah.
exit the business. And if the business is not worth what you thought or hoped it's worth,
Yeah.
you're stuck.
Yeah.
But you're still getting older, and now you're stuck. So the idea is, as much as possible, get started, set the 30 minutes aside. It is a bit of a work starting up front, but it's better to just bite the bullet and then buy your time back by doing that later
That's
down
great.
the road.
Really, really good information. Diego, thank you, bro.
Thank you so
You're the
much.
man. Thank you very much for taking the time to be here. I know you're a busy
It's
guy.
a pleasure. Thank you.
Yes. And for those out there, if you don't have a life insurance, if you don't have a business plan, if you think like you don't need this, check this out. This is probably going to be the best tip that I'm going to give it to you today. Call this guy, follow up with him. He knows what he's talking about, and he has helped us as a business, and not only that, as a family. So thank you very much, Diego.
Thank you.
And
It's
this
a pleasure.
is the Outdoor Builders Podcast. See you on the next one.
Take care.